They didn't really teach me because I did 3 entity program.
Ah, I thought the program was like a successful stuff. That's interesting, you know. You
Yeah,
just
I
use
just rounded. I
some
just finished though. I'm waiting for my certificate.
some people just use that thing to cash out. Even me, I think I wanted to apply
Yes,
as
yes.
my organ.
Serious.
Yes, I wanted to apply as an organization I would train, but I didn't. I didn't want to go
Okay.
to the hassle of. I don't like problem. Really, somebody should be stressing me for no reason.
Oh.
So that's why I never really bothered. If I see somebody
Yes.
stressing me for no reason, I would just I will hang up. But I don't used to kill myself because of money.
It's good.
Yeah, I have limit.
So I just rounded up.
But that's interesting. The interest.
Yeah. So we did a lot of projects.
I, s- I almost I paused the recording. I just realized that I wasn't recording. So you either use the dollar sign or the forward slash sign twice. Then by the time you end, you either end with the this dollar sign or the forward slash sign. Then you end it with a delimiter. The same delimiter you started with, you end it with it, delimiter, then you give a space and end it with a semicolon. So whichever one you choose to use is fine. You can use a dollar sign, but if you whatever symbol you use here, that's what you are going to use to end here. So anyone is fine. So if you do this, you are going to do this. Then if you put a dollar sign, you are going to finish with your dollar sign and delimiter. Now, what does that mean? I'm going to create a database. Mr. Abiola, thank you for coming late. And so maybe I'll just create an employer or just a company database, right? Sorry, give me a moment. I think somebody's knocking at my door. You're welcome. So we are going to demonstrate this procedure by creating a company database, and I've created it. You can see the green checkbox, which means that everything is fine. All I just need to do is just to refresh on my schema. I would see my company database, and I would then say to make it the default database, I would say use company, and I'll run it, and you can see I can use. Then I'll start creating tables. Now, two things I'm going to do. I'll create a table for employee, and I'll say it's going to take. So whatever I'm going to enter here is what they call a parameter. So what are parameters for table? You need a column name and a a data type, right? So let's just say emp underscore id, right? Let's say it's going to take an integer. Let's say this is going to be our primary key. We already know that, and I'm going to say this will be auto increment. So it is so I can put a parameter inside. I want to start from 100 with a step of 1, I think. I think, let me see. Um, is that so? Depending on where you want to actually start from, so you would enter. Um, okay. Oh, many apologies. We will make this auto increment. Sorry, I think it's supposed to be before the yeah. Okay, so it does the auto increment doesn't take a parameter here. Unfortunately, in I think in Microsoft SQL Server it takes parameter. So if I want to tell the auto increment where to start, auto increment will start from 1 till wherever the number stops. But if I want to tell you that I want it to start from somewhere, I'll go after the parameter bracket, and I'm going to enter auto increment. And I'll say I want you to start from 101 basically, and with a step of 1. If I want, so um so um so I want it to start from 101, or I can say 1001 if I want. Then it's going to move with a step of 1 Then I'll say first name, last name as usual. So first name will be character, let's say 50. Again, last name will be the same thing. I'm just going to copy because I'm lazy like that. Then let's see, what information should we take here again? Age, which is an integer. Then this is the employee, let's say employee info. So we're done with this, and then we can then run it. Now that I've run it, sorry, I can then say select. Sorry about that. I can just select all the columns from my employee info table, right? I can do that, and I'm going to see my table now. Like I earlier did, I can create a procedure just to see this, because I don't want to have to be typing this every time. Control C, I can create a procedure, and I said you start with delimiter, and whatever it is you start with here, you put a $sign. You will now say create procedure. You say view emp. You can name it anything. You get, you have a parameter for it. You begin, then you start. So this begin is saying that you want to start a transaction. I want to do what? I want to view my table, this employee info table. Then when you are done with your transaction, the query you want to write, you end it with an end. Then with the $sign, then delimiter as the ending with a semicolon. Okay, so sorry, after you're done with your query, end with a semicolon, please. It's really important. Then I'll highlight everything, I'll run it, nothing happens here, and if I refresh, I'll see table under the company database, the stored procedure. You can see my emp info, view emp info, and all I need to do just to say call what view emp info. Now if I want, I can just call it like this, or I can call it with the empty parameter. This and this, there's nothing there, so I'm going to see my table. Now what can I do? I can also create a procedure that would insert information automatically. How do I do that? So if I want to do insert, I'll say insert into what? Into employee underscore info. Then I would create the parameters I want to do entries for. Now for the emp ID, I cannot do anything because I said it is auto increment, so it's automatic, nothing happens. But I can I can declare the rest, right? Yeah, I think I can declare the rest. So I don't really need this emp id because it's automatic, but I will declare the rest, right? So when I'm done, I'll say values. I want to start entering values, right? So I'll just say first name. We have Hidayat Ajiboye. Ajiboye. We have maybe she's 12 years. Then if I want to add more, I'll say comma and so on and so forth, right? Add another parameter bracket. Then when I'm done, I'll end it with this. Now I'm going to do this insert, and I will just show us a better way of doing that. Column doesn't match. Okay. Oh, sorry. First name, last name. Apologies. So I'll say first name, then last name. Sorry about that. I'm going to run it, and you can see it has worked. If I want to view what the information I've entered in my table, I'll just use the procedure for viewing my table. I can then see, you can see it started from 101. You guys can see it, right? It started from 101, then that, and so on. Now, how do I make this easy for myself? Now you see all of this. I'll just copy it. I will then create a procedure to do the same thing. So I'll say create procedure. What I want to do, I want to insert info. Then I'll create a my parameter table. Then I'll say begin. What is my query? This is what I want to do. This is basically my query. I will end it with a dollar sign, then delimiter, then a semicolon. Now, but I want to automate it. This is just hard coding. I want to automate this process. I will enter inside this my parameter bracket. I will see first name, last name, and age. Now, what I'm going to do is to say in first name, last name, and age. So, yep. Now that I'm done, I can then see insert into this. I will just enter first name, last name, and age. Now, what I'm doing is, oh, I don't think I need a sorry about that. Is it in or on? Who can remind me? Somebody should remind me. Somebody remind me. I think is it on or in? I've forgotten. Who's going to remind me? Somebody should remind me. Oh, I've forgotten. Is it in or on? Oh, sorry. I'm also supposed to enter the data type. No wonder. Apparently. I think that was what I was missing. Then age will be int. Yeah. Yep. So this is what I was supposed to enter. And if I like, I'll say first name, last name, and I'll say AG like this if I want. Yeah. Then you see this first name, last name, which is the first name, last name that is here. Basically, this an age. So this is the everything here. Now I'll just say value, first name, last name, and age. The idea is to whatever I'm going to enter in my values should fit in into what this is, whatever this is. Do you understand? Now, the insert, of course, is the same insert that you do. Then the values now will now be this, whatever I enter here, that will be my values. Now, when I'm done, I'll just highlight everything up to this delimiter here, run it. I see that I don't have any error. Now I'm going to refresh my schema. I can then see my insert emp info. Now, if I want to then do my insert, I'll just say call insert underscore m underscore info. Then I'm going to then do my open and close bracket, and then I can then see this time around my first name will be, let me see, Cecilia. Last name will be, I don't know how to call your last name, Cecilia. Call your last name for me. And maybe your age is 50.
Komolafe.
Komolafe.
Komolafe. Komolafe.
So when I'm done with this, I can then run it like this. Instead of me to having to write all of this, insert into these, then values every time, I can just do like this, and I would run it. Now that I've run it successful, if I then go to my call view, I'll say call view m info, right? So I want to view my employee info table. You can then see I have um, a new entry. Now I think if I want, I'm not sure, but I can enter a bracket like this and enter multiple entries. So, and we have, this is me. Let me enter this. Let's see, I am 20. Then we have Abiola. I've forgotten his last name. I'll just say Ladipo. Let's say he's 80. I can then run this. Okay, so it's saying that incorrect number of arguments for this, expected 3 but got 2. Okay, so it means that I'm unable to run this multiple. I thought I was able to run this multiple insert, but apparently I don't think that is the case. Oh, so if I want to write, so I thought I should be able to write multiple, but what I can just do is, it has to be individual. So what I can just do is, I can basically just call it twice, and it works fine with different information. It works fine, and if I can highlight everything, I'll just run it. It's going to run 2 times. So I've entered this and entered the second information. I'll run it, and you can then see I have my table. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Do we continue? Do you have questions, Cecilia? Do we continue? Network is really dealing with some people. Cecilia, any questions? Hidat, any questions? Or at least, can you guys hear me?
No
I
questions.
can hear you, sir. No questions.
Is it something you understand, or you have to go and review it?
I have to go and review it again and watch videos, honestly.
Okay, cool. But it's highly important that you review it on time, because I'm about to land you people with you guys have not done my assignment, my assessment.
The Cowrywise on.
Yes.
No.
What have you that you've not done my assessment?
Which one?
The assessment I sent on last week.
I've uploaded it on GitHub now. Is it that one?
But you didn't share it with us now, did you?
No.
You are supposed to share it.
Okay.
Share it with us, please. Let's see. That's the only way we'll know if you've done it or not. So, again, you can actually create different procedures for different things. So you can create to update, you can create to delete, you can create to, do a whole lot of things. That is for procedures. So just play with it, see how it goes. The next thing we would be discussing about are triggers. And so if you want to create a trigger is a stored procedure that is meant to happen immediately when something has happened. So is an event that is a stored procedure that is dependent on an event. What do I mean? Let's say you have two tables. You want that every time you do an entry, you have a table that will do something, or a table that will be recording the time that you did a particular entry. You understand? So you can create a trigger for each. Basically, how you create a trigger is the same thing. You would say create trigger. So you say create trigger, then you give a trigger name. Now, the trigger, since it's event driven, it is dependent on either an after or a before, right? Then it's also dependent on three different things: an insert, update, or delete. You can't use trigger to view table. You understand? Then now this event would happen on a particular table. So on a table name that this event happened on immediately when you did do something to a particular table, this particular table here. Now you then specify for each row, then you begin. What do you begin? Whatever it is you want to do. So your query, you write your query, and your query has to be insert, update, or delete. Your query. Now, anytime you hear insert, update, delete, there is one other option. Insert, update, delete. There's also create. They are referring to what they call, so create, I think I mentioned this. Create is insert, read is view your table, you have update and delete. So anytime they are referring to this particular task, so they usually refer it to they call it an acronym of CRUD. They say the CRUD functionality or CRUD operations, or they will say CRUD operations. Do you know why it is CRUD? And anybody tell me why it is or the CRUD? Do you know why it is CRUD or CRUD? Who can tell me why this is CRUD or CRUD?
Because I'm just guessing that they create major changes to the data or something.
So there is Hidayah, do you want to try? No, Hidayah no
Just let it go.
The CRUD is an acronym for create, see, read, update, you, and delete. Does that make sense? The CRUD is an acronym for create that starts with C. So they are basically taking the first letter of all of these things. Does that make sense? Anytime you hear CRUD functionality, they are talking about these four things: create, read, update, and delete. So you write your CRUD operation without.
I know that they are referring. Sorry, sir. I know that they are referring to create, read, update, and delete. I thought you say what's the meaning of the CRUD?
Yeah,
Like what does
what does it
before?
mean?
Oh, I thought you. What does the acronym mean? No, what does it mean? Okay,
Yeah, the acronym.
okay. Let's create, read, update.
Then, since um, you are working with MySQL, you do this. You always do this. Unfortunately, you use a delimiter because it's still a stored procedure. A trigger is also a stored procedure, but you use it for um, event-driven things. So, what does this mean? Let me tell you what it means. So, for my employee table, I want to create another table. Create table. I will see audit. What is it going to take? My audit is going to take an audit ID. Is going to be an integer. Is going to be auto increment. It's also going to be increment. It's also going to be a primary key. Primary key. It's going to take a date time. So it's going to be date time. Then it will be default. Default. Then it will be I think it's timestamp. I think it's date timestamp. Date timestamp. I think it's timestamp. No, current timestamp. Yeah, current timestamp. Now, what does this mean is that you should give me the current date, basically. What is the current date and time for this particular event? Then, what do we do? Yeah, I think this is just what we are going to create, and I'm just going to run this table. If I go to my table under my company database, I'll just refresh and I can see my audit table. Why do I need an audit table? I want this audit table to always record as soon as I enter something. You understand? As soon as I do something, I want it to always record. Now, I'm going to delete what I have for my entries now. Whatever entry I have here, I will delete them. So I'll just say delete from my employee info table. I think that's what I'll just do. So now that I've done that, if I view my table now, I don't have anything. I just deleted all the entry. What do I want to do? What I want to do is I want to create a trigger that anytime I enter something in my employee table here, it should create an audit. It should just register the time I did this entry. You understand? You get?
So
So I just want you to register the time I did this audit, and maybe I'm going to add a foreign key that would say I enter this audit for this so person, for instance. So I'm just going to say alter table, my audit table, I would say add column. I would say what column do I want to enter? M underscore ID. I would say it is integer. Yep. I'll also say add constraint because I want to enter. So the constraint I want to enter is foreign key. I would say my foreign key is the emp ID referencing my employee info table of which of the column. What's the column? The emp ID column. People's network is so bad today. Am I supposed to do am I supposed to do I think I'm supposed to do a comma. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to do a comma. I'm not sure, but I think I'm supposed to do a comma after this. Yeah, so I'm supposed to do a comma after this. Sorry about that. So now that I'm done, I will just run it. Let's see. So I've already entered it. If I then view my audit table just to see what it looks like, I can then see I have my audit ID, the date, time, and the employee ID. So what do? I want to then create a trigger. So basically, I'm just going to copy this trigger. What does the trigger do? At every time I register a new employee, to just take the date, the time, that current time I did the registration on my employee info, and the employee ID. So I'm just going to paste this. So what do I want to do? What the action I want to do is an after action, not a before, right? I want to create an after action. And what do I want to do? I want to do an insert action. So I want to do insert into, so on the table, so upon employee info table, upon whatever it is I want to do on employee info table, for each row, then do an insert for me. So basically what I'm then going to do is to say insert into audit, then I'll enter. What am I inserting? I want to do I don't even need the date time. I'll just put the employee ID because I've already told you that it should do always insert the default timestamp at that particular point in time. So insert into this, then I'll see the values, then I'll just see new. Basically, I'm just going to say new dot m underscore id. So basically, that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm done. Then I would highlight and run my query for creating this trigger. Now it has worked. How do I know? I'll refresh. I'll go to my, so I don't have any trigger, right? Oh, I have a trigger right now. Oh, trigger name employee. Oh, I have a trigger. I didn't know that it's already there. Now if I go back to my audit and I run it, I don't have anything there because I've not done anything on my employee table. Now how then do I do something on my employee table? Remember, I create a stored procedure for inserting data, right? So I'll just go to this first procedure. In fact, the second one, I'll just copy this. I want to do 3 entries. So I'll just say call insert info I'll open the parameter bracket, enter this, and I'll just run everything like this. And yep. Now I think I have sorry. Okay, it's either that enter. Let me enter this too. So I've run these two. Now, what happens when I view my table? I've gotten my entries for my table. Now, if I then go to my audit to view my audit table, I'm going to run it, and you can then see. Can you guys see? It has entered the date time already for me at the time I ran it up to the second. The employee ID that I entered, then it ran the second one. As soon as I ran the insert, then it ran the third one, that this is what I entered. You understand? So look at my employee ID 107, 1005, 1006, 1007. I can see the employee ID 1005, 1006, 1007. I can decide to make it more interesting. I can say what can I say? I can usually I think I can add a text. I think I can add a text. Let me see. I think I can add a text. Yep, I think I can add a text to this. So let me see. I can add a text to this if I wanted. I'm going to delete everything again, and I would start the process. So I'll just say delete from audit. Again, I'm deleting everything. I want to make it more interesting. So if I view audit, I don't see anything. If I go back to delete, let me say delete from employee ID, employee info as well. Employee info, so I don't have anything. Oh god, this is interesting. Employee underscore info table. Yeah. So I'll run this as well. Nothing is there. If I go to my employee table, I don't have anything. I want to make it more interesting. I'm going to drop. I want to drop this employee ID column, but I want to enter like a text. So I will say alter table, audit table. Then I'll say I think it's remove emp ID. Yep. Yep, I think I should do that. Or I would say add. Let me add a column. Add column. I'll just say what should I say? What should I say? Maybe action message, something like that. I would say this is just should I say text? Yeah, I'm just going to say text. Yeah, I think that's just all. I'll run it. It works fine. If I go to my audit, I can see my action message. Then under my employee table, I can just see you should do a concatenate of entry for or employee with employee ID, emp ID of, then I'll say new dot emp ID has just been has been created at, then I'll then say new dot date underscore time, basically. So I'm saying that sorry, excuse me. So this employer ID has been created at this particular date and time. That's all. And I think I'm done. I would then yep, I'll just the delimiter everything. I'll run it. Oh, my trigger already exists. I'm supposed to delete the trigger. I say refresh. I think I should drop. Let me drop the trigger. Drop trigger. Then I'll say trigger name. I'm supposed to name it something else instead of trigger name. I've dropped it. If I refresh, I'm not going to see it again. Actually supposed to say not trigger name. I'm just say update, insert into audit, insert log, something like that. Then I'll run it. Unknown new dot interesting. Oh, I think sorry about this. You know what? I would say oh, sorry about this. I didn't add insert into this. I'll say action message, action underscore message. Sorry about this. Yeah, so let me run it again. They saying okay. I think I don't need this. I think I'll just say date time. I think. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry about this. Okay, so it worked fine. Now I'm going to do the same everything the same thing here. I would run it. Everything has run. I'll come back to my audit. I would view my audit. Okay, so it didn't enter. Why is that? I think I made a mistake. Well, let me just remove this date time for now. I don't know what is wrong with it. Let me drop my trigger with call insert underscore log. I'll repeat the same process again. I will delete from my employee again. Go back to my audit table. There's nothing there. I'll come back here, update. Now, if I view my table, okay, so oh, sorry, I didn't run my trigger. Sorry about that. I'll do that. Refresh. I have my trigger then. I'll go back to my insert table. It has worked. Then I will then view my log, my audit log. So you guys can see that I have automated the process. So employee with employee ID of 104, which is this 104 here, has just been created at, again I'm supposed to enter a time, or this is not really written well, so I'm supposed to go here and say employee ID of this. I'll give a space, I'll also give a space here and maybe do something like this. I can still drop the trigger. I would delete. I'm also going to delete the audit as well. Run the delimiter again, refresh, run this, insert into my employee table again, and come back to my audit and view it, and I guess the display is going to change a little. So there is more space now. Employee ID of with employee with emp ID of 107 has just been created at, so I'm supposed to say maybe at a particular time, right? Which I didn't do. I can say employee so person. I can if I so want, I can call the person's name as well. But again, this is how you actually create a trigger, and you can create a trigger for just one thing. So if you want to also track, for instance, if you delete a uh, a client in the, or an employee in the employee info table, you can actually track it in your audit if you so want. So you can create different triggers to do different things. It's a very, very interesting concept, and it helps you monitor activities of users on a website, especially if you have like a website that does maybe for commercial purpose, or you are actually working in an organization that people usually would do certain things using a web application, and you as a data analyst, you actually want to track um, these things, right? And yesterday I wanted to show you I wanted to show you guys something on the entity relationship diagram. So in MySQL, there's a way you can actually create it by going to your database, reverse engineer. I think I did this yesterday. And so you just click on basically next. It's going to ask me for my password. Enter next. What I want is my company database, because you have your different database here. And execute. I will then see my entity relationship diagram, and you can then see this is basically a one-to-many relationship. I think it's supposed to be a one-to-one relationship. I'm not supposed to make it a one-to-many relationship, but it's fine. It's actually fine. So Mr. Abiola, this is what I was trying to refer to yesterday. And that's because I don't think, like I said, they created a relationship between the both of them. So between the diagrams in the database of the Cowrywise, and you can actually save this if you want. I'm not going to save it, but you can actually save it if you want. You put it somewhere, and whatever for whatever reason you want to save it for. Yeah, you can. Yes, basically you can. So there's something I would want to give you guys. With this, basically we are. Is there anything we've not touched? I think this is it. So maybe next session we will just talk about creating a schema. For why is that important? The idea is, as a data analyst, there's nobody you don't work with. Whether you're in a tech company, you can work as a database administrator and things like that. So you really need to know, you really need to be able to envision how to create relationships between your tables. There are two types of schemas. There is the I think there's the star schema and there is the snowflake schema. And it is really important you know how to design this thing. How and you can only create your schema or your databases um the uh, the ERD if you know what table is related to which. So I think next week there's something I'm trying to build. There's something I'm trying to build. I would see how I'm going to come up with fake information. It's a real this thing. I will send it to you guys to be able to build the database for them. So you know how to create and track. It's something I designed in Google Sheet to. It's actually one of the. It's a venture I actually run. So I track them, our day-to-day, not day-to-day activity per se, but business activity using the Google Sheet. Whether it's a Google workbook that I use to track my venture. So what I'm just going to do is to, I think I'll try as much as well to create a pseudo information. The rest are not so important, but pseudo information, and then we can create a database to track that particular business model. Does that make sense? So within the week, I shared with you guys, and I'm very curious myself on developing that. I really so the reason why I want to do that is it's for you guys to learn with it on how to create business models using SQL knowledge. For me personally, I actually want to develop an application, and I need to understand how those things run. I know how they run because I designed it, but I want to understand it at a technical level. So I actually need to build a database and a schema for it to be able to build my web application very well, because I've been struggling on building that web application, and that's because I designed it. I'm supposed to start from a bottom to top approach, but I'm starting from a top to bottom approach, which is not working for me. So simple is better. Just like how we wrote different um, different um, queries yesterday, sub queries, CTEs, to be able to give birth to certain results. So the more you are able to modularize um, your creation of a schema, the better it is for you. Um, I think I'm going to stop here. Any questions? Any questions?
No, from me.
Miss